Hello and welcome. This is Alchemistexe, and we are looking at the content update for the week. We have a new global original unit and accompanying memento, and his name is Emrys, and he is a water mage. He looks pretty good from what I have seen and heard. Definitely a good addition to the water magic squad, especially since he's able to lower magic and water res, which is always welcome, especially in boss fights. And so there is a group of quests associated with him and an EX level and all that that I just finished getting all of that stuff in terms of the milestones. There's not a lot of other new content aside from the usual vision clear and such. There is something for Genesis rerunning and a new feature that we'll look at in just a moment. But I just wanted to point out that there are some decent prizes for the for clearing the milestones, a little bit of shards, and then decent amount of gems too. I think it's 10 times for the regular EX and then 3 times for the EX Plus. I definitely recommend trying to use the auto repeat for that, just because it's kind of a time consuming level, so do it when you're AFK. So yeah, the feature that I wanted to talk about though is the ability to skip a boss fight for a dungeon boss. Now, this is kind of a big deal in that it can take a lot of the tedium out of it potentially, but there is one really big drawback that I would like to point out. So I painstakingly got the missions cleared on the hard boss for part 1 of Genesis, which is so in order to be able to skip a boss battle, you have to get all of the missions. And I don't know, I didn't check all of them, at least not recently. I don't know if they're all the same, but they're all kind of along these lines. So like you need to clear the boss in one go, and then you have to get them all in a single try. And that is kind of difficult in terms of what units are viable to accomplish this. Like, it's really hard for me to imagine doing it without like certain units, especially Nyx. So if you're free to play, and especially if you're kind of like new, it seems really gated, and I don't love that. But I definitely recommend for any of the levels, if you want to see if you can try it, see what teams people have used in on YouTube, etc. Also, sometimes people post their clears on Reddit as well. For this level in particular, I did a light magic setup with I used like both Emil and Nyx and my like enlightened Cheryl and Nina, just to like get with 2 of them had arcane errati, and then there's just tons of nuking. So yeah, that's it's a nice feature, but it does seem like a small group of people would be able to fully utilize it. Um, so yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it for this week. It's kind of a chill week in terms of that. So why don't we take a look at the banners? Alright, here we are at the banners. Some of the free ones aren't here anymore because I already did them and I recorded that earlier. So you'll see them when I do the summoning for them, but it's just the free Genesis shards and then 1 free 10 pull with a guaranteed 5-star. So yeah, always do free summons. I feel like I don't even need to tell you guys that. So first up is banner. It's 3-step. You should skip it. Next up is a very, very noticeably good banner for once. Yeah, this one is a 9-step where you can just get the new unit at the end. Like if you remember Tiferet or Fail Not, they had kind of a similar deal. A little bit. No, I actually honestly wouldn't even call that spendy, given how much it could cost to transmute, like say one of the Genesis units. That's a good deal. Now I'll go over some other ways that you might go about getting Emrys, depending. But in all honesty, this is a good banner. You're gonna guaranteed get 3 global units. So depending on what you have, what you want, if you want to get him, this is the way to do it. Like, especially if you're free to play. If you're a spender, there's kind of another way because you can buy the shards. But this, yeah, I definitely, even I'm not doing this one myself, because I think I'm gonna go with the transmutation route because I think I can save a little bit of gems that way. But it's definitely not bad. And then next up, we have a banner that's like, it's like the Genesis 2.5 banner where you get the coins, except it's just the global exclusive version. So this one is more casting a wide net, and that there's a potentially good payoff in that if you own a unit, you will get 100 shards of them. So that's good. It's not particularly likely, but if you remember what happened with me with Emil, it can happen sometimes. But the main objective here is more towards getting soul shards of units that you already own, because those coins are really good for that. I think I'm going to do at least step 1 of this banner, because I have a few like Zhang and Siegfried that I would really like to, I'm like 1 or 2 shards from capping out certain gates, and then I would probably spend the rest of them on Emrys once I transmute him. But yeah, so this one's good too, just a different objective. And then if I skip down a little bit, same thing except for Genesis. And then one thing I wanted to point out that I was reading in the news that I thought was a little bit unclear is that they say that both the what were they called? Brilliant coins? The Magna Historia coins and the Genesis coins are going to be retired on the 28th. And I'd never seen them use that wording before when talking about like the expiration dates and resetting of like coins, that kind of things. So that makes me think that this system may be going away permanently, and I don't know what's going to replace it. So if any of you guys out there are familiar with the Japanese version and like their timeline of banners and that kind of thing, if they ended up retiring the coin setup or if it still exists now, because I would definitely like to know if that's the case or if it was just a case of like weird wording. But anyway, yeah, sorry about that little digression. So yeah, we got 2 of the coin banners. Then there's the usual 9-step for a new memento. It's expensive but reliable. Yeah, you get the selector if you want it. So if you want to like fully load out Emrys, you could do it for about a little over 40k, and then you'd get a pretty decent chunk of prizes or shards of him just from the gem spent bonus as well. So he is definitely like a really accessible unit in terms of like how many shards you can get from him and like how easy he is to get. So I think that's pretty cool. My main concern is that this is like really tempting to try to like bait people to spend all their gems and then have something even crazier come along, closer to the anniversary. So that's why I'm not quite at the level of wanting to dump like 20k plus on him, but I'm down to like throw enough to get him transmuted. But anyway, back to the rest. There's also, oh wait, that's just one for Emil. You know the drill with these. If you want a transmuter, I don't know. I feel like most people that would have wanted to get Emil probably have her by now, unless you're new. So the deal with this, I don't recommend this unless you're gonna transmute her. Like maybe you've been building it slowly, getting 25 shards here and there, but that should be the ultimate end game because the double rates on step 3 that means nothing. Like you can just the amount of times like I've done one of those kinds of banners and like just didn't get any 5 stars. It's like, oh yeah, 2 times 0 is still 0. Oh right, Emil has a new memento. I totally forgot to mention that. I don't know too much about it. I've heard it's better for her in a support capacity. That's all I really know. I read that on Reddit. So same thing. If you want to get her memento, if you're like really all about her, not a bad banner in that you might get lucky and pull more copies of her original memento as well. And since they're both limited, I could see that being valuable to the right person. And then I think everything else is just an older banner. So yeah, that is it for all of the banners. But before I go into the summoning, I just wanted to point out that Emrys is also available in the shop. So he is pretty accessible in terms of like if you want to go the transmutation route, or if you just want to get him and get a bunch of his shards and then reap the rewards from the gem spent bonus. There's a lot of options. So I I would recommend getting him 100% if you don't have Dark Mira or Merlinus. If you have one of those two, then I'd say, depends on what you want. And if you have both of them, I'd say he's not strictly necessary, but you may want him if you want to just absolutely destroy bosses with water magic. Alright, yeah, so let's move on to the summoning. Alright, so let's start with the Genesis shards. I am like just a few shards away from getting Inaku's Gate 2, which adds a little bit of a snowball onto him, so I'm kind of excited about that. Because other than that, I don't really have any other significant Genesis milestones that I'm in any way close to. That's why I'm passing up on the Genesis banner, because like normally I'd be all about that, but since the prices don't reset in the shop, like they've gotten so expensive, it's kind of hard to justify the cost. Two more Inaku shards, and I'm good. Um, all right, so now let's do this free banner. I have never gotten anything good on one of these, by the way. I mean, I'll still take a free summon, but I mean, I guess I've gotten okay things, but I've never gotten anything like exceptionally good. Like certainly no Genesis units or anything. But gotta take the free summons where you can get them. And the guaranteed 5-star is Eve. Yeah, no, that is not particularly helpful. And let's see if any of the yellows change. Nope. And nope. And nope. Alright, yeah, so that, nope. Alright. That is it for that. Alright, and now to do one step of this special Magna Historia summon. So I will definitely put these coins to good use. Alright, and let's see what we get. Question is, will it become red? Oh, it did. Looks like we got one, assuming none of them change. Deneb, huh? Well, that's not too amazing, but that's okay. The coins are the real thing to go for in this case. Ely. Yeah, that wasn't such a great roll, but now I got 200 of those coins. Yay. Alright, so I might try to do a review of Emrys if I can get him transmuted, and if I can get like 15 limit breaks, I think I could showcase his kit decently. Otherwise, I might try to do what I did with the Oscar review. I'll just have to see what happens. But yeah, that is it. So good luck on your summons, everyone, and I will see you guys next time.